Okay, hello everyone and welcome to another tutorial for Transport Tycoon. Today we're going to be doing an advanced trucking route for the petrochemical route. So to begin with, I've come to the orange symbol. I imagine most people doing this are going to know how to get the trucking job, but I've come here. It's a good start for the video. So we just need to get the normal trucker route for now, or trucker job. So that's what we're going to have. See, mine already says petrochemical, but I'm going to show how we choose that. So now that we've got the trucker job, we can head over to the trucking HQ. So that's where we need to get the petrochemical route specifically. So that is over here in the docks of Los Santos. Looks like a satellite. So we're going to head over there and select the petrochemical route before we can start actually seeing the symbols and going to the locations we need to. So get this truck out of here. Oh, flawless driving as usual. Right, let's head on down. So the petrochemical route, from what I can gather, seems to be a sort of recycling of the old Globe Oil route from the company I used to be in quite a long time ago. Which is actually also the route that the first ever video I did on Transport Tycoon is based on. But this is different. Like, we can't just go and have a look at the Globe Oil video and use that. They have completely changed how it works. But the idea of it is the same. So we just need to avoid all this traffic. Oh dear God. Okay, that's exploded. That's a perfect start. Okay, well, I have the trucking HQ is also on top of a purchasable business, which I do actually have, so I'll be able to grab a new trailer once we get there, hopefully. Well, that was a bit annoying. I always forget that those metro poles are not destructible. I tried to get between them, but obviously that didn't work out. Now, I am running against the clock here, so I'm going to try not to rush it or miss anything, but the server is restarting in less than half an hour, so we are going to need to get a move on, and I've already gone the wrong way, and this truck's taking quite a bit of damage. Hopefully we'll be able to get the truck back out as well. That should reset the damage on it. Right, we're going to take this small road so that we can loop round underneath. And here we are. Right, so let's just dump the truck because it's gonna die in a minute anyway. Before we get the other truck, before we get it all back out though, we'll go over to here. So this orange circle here, you have to be a trucker to see it, and this is where you're able to then specialize. So there are 4 options here. I will eventually do all of them, but today we're doing petrochemical. Commercial is the standard trucking, so just like all the stuff that you usually do, erasers, tools, concrete, batteries, that's commercial. Then military, we will go into, that's making explosives and things like that. Petrochemical, we're doing today, and refrigerated is for food items. So if you select petrochemical, it will now show, like it does on mine, with that petrochemical in brackets next to trucker. So let's hope that I can actually get the lorries back out, because they may still be on cooldown, unfortunately. Yep, they are. Okay. So as they're on cooldown, what we will do is head. So I can't waste much time, but we do need the truck because the oil pumping is actually right here, very close to the original spot. So actually what we'll do is we'll go over it on the map sort of before I show it, and then that will hopefully use up some time for the cooldowns. So as I said, we start at this oil pumping station. This is where we get the oil that we need, and this is 1/2 of the petrochemical route, because you can do oil or you can do gas, and they are for different purposes. The oil that we're going to be doing in this video is just really just for actually making money. So that's what I'll be showing this time. Hello everyone, it's Future Void here. Just want to clarify that I actually made a mistake during this recording, and the oil route is not just for selling. We do actually need the kerosene from this route for a future tutorial on the military trucking. So anything I say about kerosene being sold, please ignore it. In the next video, or in a next video, I will show the other half of petrochemical, and then obviously we'll move on from there to other types, because petrochemical is actually needed for the military trucking. You need to get some items from the gas side of petrochemical for the military stuff, so it's a good way to start with petrochemical. It's a good way to start for the military one, and it also creates other byproducts which are very useful in batteries and concrete. So once we have the oil from this pumping station, we then need to take it to the refinery, which is where the old Globe Oil headquarters was, up on the east side of Los Santos. Well, actually we're out of Los Santos by now, so this would be more east San Andreas. So this is an actual refinery as well, so it's quite a fitting location. You can see all of these, there's a lot of services here, and this is all from when Globe Oil used to have its headquarters here. But the one we're interested in is this refinery symbol up here. We need to go there and turn our oil into diesel, petrol and kerosene. Now diesel and petrol, fairly obvious what they are, it's for cars, but then kerosene is what jet aircraft run on. Some of them anyway. Some of them use kerosene pure, some of them use Jet A. There's a lot of different types of fuel, but for the purpose of this, it's kerosene, it's for planes, and that's what we're going to be making. Kerosene, diesel and petrol from the oil. Once we have that, we simply just go and sell it. So to sell the items that you've now made, we need to head down to the south of Los Santos again, once again near the HQ, to the Bristol's fuel storage, which is here. And we can then sell our diesel, petrol and kerosene all to this point. If you ever need the fuel for whatever reason, you can actually get some empty jerry cans and take it to this location next to the pumping station called the oil depository, and you can actually pump the oil directly from your trunk into the jerry cans at this location if you want to do that. But for this video we're going to be selling it down at the Bristol area. So now that I've given an outline, let's see if this has cooled down enough. I don't know. 1 minute. Oh. Right, I may edit this out because I don't want people to literally have to sit here and wait for me. This is a bit ridiculous. So I will jump cut and we'll get back in once I can actually spawn the trailer. Okay, we can now spawn the trailer. So before we spawn the trailer, obviously, we want to spawn the actual lorry. Or truck, because I am British. Although I don't actually like the word lorry, even though I'm British. I do prefer truck. And I also prefer the American style of trucks with these big bonnets on them rather than the little snub-nosed lorries that we have in Europe. So we've got the lorry, truck, whatever, you know. Now we need our trailer. TV trailer, it's the only one I've got, so that's the one I'm going to be using. I imagine people that are advanced enough to do this route, they'll have their own trailers and truck systems. Like, I wouldn't recommend doing this with anything less than a full truck and trailer. And we can now head over to the oil pumping station. Now, it does actually show you, if we go to the F7 menu, it does actually tell you in the community wiki what you need to do certain routes. Like this, recycled trash, toxic waste, they require certain strength levels. Now this doesn't tell you about the advanced routes that we're doing, like the petrochemical and the military and that, but for the same sort of reason as these ones, you do require level 15 strength at least. Probably want to have maximum strength, but I know that that can actually be quite hard to grind nowadays. So you need at least level 15 to be able to carry the oil. So with that, we're going to actually head to the oil pumping station and collect the oil to go and refine. And as I say, hopefully I'll be able to do this video in one go before the before the server restarts, essentially, because the server is set to restart soon, and I'm hoping I can get this done before that. But if not, then there may well be a cut in between while the server is restarting. But if we keep a good move on and don't waste too much time, hopefully we should be able to get this done. And obviously I need to not crash the trailer again, because that would be annoying. So, let's come around here. Now, the oil pumping station is in the lower section of this sort of dirt industrial area. So we want to head straight in, head in here straight away. We're going to go up to the pump jacks. And we can get the oil. There we go. We can extract crude oil. Doesn't cost anything to get the oil. So we can start dumping this into our truck. 2 at a time. This truck can take 24 and then have 2 in my inventory, and that will give me enough space to actually work with the items once we get there. I haven't been counting though, so we're going to wing it for a minute until we get close. It is a shame. It would be very nice if they would add a inventory for the truck for you to see as well as your own. I could have sworn they used to have that, but it seems to not be around anymore. But that may be a suggestion to give. So we've got 22, so we need 2 more. There we go. So now, see, our truck isn't full up. We've actually got enough space for 2 more. But if I put 2 more in the truck, then I'll have 2 in my inventory as well. And when I get to the other end to refine it, I won't have space to actually put what is in my inventory into the truck to then get more oil out. So it's a good idea to leave enough space to put an inventory's worth in the truck after the fact. And now that we've filled up, we can head over to the refinery. So actually getting the oil, as you saw, doesn't cost anything, but it does cost to refine it. But obviously, if it costs more to refine it than you got in profit from selling the stuff, then it would be a really crappy route. So it does obviously turn a profit. You just need to be aware that it is going to take some money to begin with, like most routes. Oh, there's the server restart warning. Like most routes, it will take some money to begin with to actually refine your items before you sell them. But we are actually making what seems to be good time. Hopefully we will be able to get this done. Now, from my old days in Globe Oil, I know that this refinery can be a bit of a pain in the arse to get to, because there's a lot of weird junctions and things on the motorway that you have to use. So we're going to just take this sort of carefully, make sure that we actually take the right turnings. So like here, we need to go up to the right. Try not to crash into any poles. There we are. So if you ever need fuel or you're damaged, there's a petrol station up there, which is also a purchasable business, so you can actually get your vehicle out there if something terrible happens. Which is what I would have done with the trailer if we didn't have to get the oil straight from right next to where we were. But we then need to come off the motorway here, and it's getting foggy, which is just perfect because now we can't see what we're doing properly. And the entrance to the refinery is actually across a bridge with a moat sort of thing for some reason. So we need to be careful for that and get all these bloody cars out of the way. Here we are. And across the bridge, down and into the refinery. Sort of squeezing through here. You don't want to take that too quickly because there's a lot of ways to catch a trailer there. But we can now head round to the actual refinery spot for the trucking, which is over in these capacitors for some reason. There we are. So, as you can see now, we're going to refine the crude oil, and that is going to take 1 of the crude oil and turn it into 1 kerosene, 1 diesel and 2 petrol. So, we'll select that, And there we go. So it's done the first two. So we can now put that in our truck because we left the space. That's what the space is for. We can now get two more out. There we are. So it'll refine those two, and then we'll just repeat that process until all of our crude oil has been turned into its respective types of fuel. I do apologise for the keyboard. I think I said in the last video, I have the loudest keyboard in the world because this mic is very sensitive. Just hope the lag doesn't slow us down too much. There are actually quite a few Collins Co people on this server at the moment, which is nice. And there we are. No more items left. So we're now good to go. So in our trailer, let's have a quick look. We are on the clock, but we can spare a quick second to look. No, not that one. Access trunk, tape. So we now have 26 diesel, 26 kerosene, and 52 petrol. So now with that, we head back down to the Bristol fuel storage, where we can then sell the items. Now the GPS, you saw quickly before I came out of it, the GPS is terrible for this, because that is not correct in the slightest. So we are actually I'm going to set a custom GPS quickly, because we want to actually, the way I find easiest is to get on this train track from where it's trying to tell you to go, but you can also use this main road here and then just turn off. So if we set a GPS for here instead, that should make it much easier for us to find our way out once we get back there. So we now need to get out of the refinery and back onto the highway. Oh, a bit of damage on the trailer there. So what you have to be careful, there's a lot of things to catch yourself on. We will go through here. There we go. And now start heading back into the city. Now, my memory is a bit terrible, but I believe it took 10,000 per crude oil to turn into the respective items. So if we sort of keep that in mind and see how much we get for each of the sort of things that we then sell, we can sort of get a rough idea of how much profit we're actually making from this route. So we want to keep in mind that 10,000 times 26, because that's how many crude oils we took with us. So we have so far spent 260,000 to turn this truck full of oil into a truck full of different fuels. Then we will see what it sells for at the other end, and we can do a quick calculation and see how much we've made. Oh, this is a bit of a trek, but it's not as bad as some. I've been doing concrete quite a lot recently, and grinding that has been sucking the life out of me. But I'm trying to save up for the comms station, so I've got to do it. Oh, we want to go off here. That always catches me out. And then we can turn. Heading past the tools and eraser buyers, or sellers technically, they're the suppliers. You see, if you're on the server 1 and 2, you'll probably see quite a lot of people there, all the new people joining and starting off. So now that we're here, we can just go straight past our marker, keep heading into the docking area, and we want to turn right just here. Do a bit of a U-turn. Oh, looks like I'm going through the train things again, more carefully this time. And then we need to navigate this absolute mess. So we'll come round, flawless. There we go. And we are at the selling point. There we are. So we can now sell diesel for 12,000 each. So that's already given us a profit by the seams of it, if I've remembered the actual cost in the first place correctly. So if it's cost us 260,000 to actually make this, then we are immediately making a profit just off of our diesel. So because we got 26 diesel, we're going to sell them 2 lots of 10 at a time, if the server will catch up. Oh no, wait, it's not the server's fault, it's my fault. We need to get the diesel back out of the truck. So they take 25 each, or weigh 25 each. So let's get out 10 at a time, because we're selling 10 at a time. So repeat the take. There we go, 2 lots of 10. How many do we have left? We have 6 left, so we'll take that 6. And then we need to reopen the store using the M menu, so that we can then start selling them one by one instead of 10 at a time. There we are, so we'll wait for those to sell. And I think we have actually already made a profit, so that's not bad at all. And we still have all of the kerosene and petrol to sell yet. So we can now start selling kerosene. Get that out of the truck as well. So we want to take 10 kerosene, like we took 10 diesel. Let it sell that. Oh, not put, we want to take. And then we take the last 6. Same as the diesel, we need to reopen the shop. Bristol's fuel storage. We want to select kerosene one by one. Allow it to sell them. And then finally, we need to do the petrol. So we'll reopen the shop. Say that we're going to sell petrol by 10, because you get double the petrol that you do of diesel and kerosene. So we need to take out, they still weigh the same though, so we're still going to do it 10 at a time. But there we are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then the last 4, so we need to go back to the shop, tell it to do 1 at a time, and then in the truck we can just get out the last, 2, not 4, but there you go. And now we have sold all of our items, and we seem to have made quite the tidy profit. And that is essentially all there is to it for the petrol side of the petrochemical route. It is a pure profit system. Although, as I say, you can actually turn it into jerry cans full of fuel at the oil depository if you wish to. But that will do it for this tutorial. Luckily we've managed to get in front of the server restart, so we don't have to worry about that. So, thank you for watching. Please leave a like if this was useful to you, and subscribe for more tutorials on Transport Tycoon for FiveM.